Respawn, respawn, respawn. There's a lot I could say about Respawn, given the current situation. Where did you go wrong, Respawn? Who hurt you? Okay, but in all reality, Respawn is a company that, in my eyes, has lost touch. Lost touch with what made it great. Yes, Respawn was, and sometimes still is, great, and they have a long history, much longer than the company's own existence, and I want to talk about Respawn, where they've been, where they are now, and where they are likely to go, and analyzing the choices made along the way. Vince Zampella and Jason West, the two co-founders of Respawn, have been around in the gaming industry for ages. They've had their hands in seemingly any major successful FPS game. They're on the team that created Medal of Honor Allied Assault and were largely credited with the success of Call of Duty 4. It's not even arguable that Call of Duty 4 changed the game when it came to online multiplayer first-person shooters. Vince and Jason, after the release of Call of Duty 4, signed big deals that gave them creative control over Call of Duty, but there was a clause that if they ever got fired, control would revert back to Activision. Can you guess what Activision did next? Can you? It's kind of obvious. So this led these two giants to found Respawn Entertainment, the studio we all know and, well, I guess just kind of know today. They left corporate giant Activision for creative freedom and control over their product. Respawn was going to be the next Valve. Valve and Gaben, the God King Gaben, oh bless me with your gaming graces. Valve as it used to be when they put out amazing game after amazing game after amazing game. The Valve that supported its games and its community, allowing them to take Valve's games into the stratosphere of possibilities. There's also a lot to be said about the similarities between Respawn and Valve and how they've treated their games with the acronym TF2, but that's going to be a whole nother video. Respawn was going to be just that, a studio that did not pander to greed and the bottom line, but made games for the love of the games themselves, and this would make their games great. With two game design geniuses at the helm, Respawn was poised to take the first-person shooter market by storm. Respawn was going to make the best FPS games ever and not make money the sole focus of their operation. Well, yes and no. They sought funding from EA in order to make their next great FPS title. EA became their publisher, and they set off to make Titanfall 1, which was a rousing success that just took the world by storm and is still loved today. Wrong. It was a success, but received its fair share of criticism. People didn't like the whole online-only, multiplayer-only, and no single-player idea. Following this, they gave it a second go and made an even arguably better game in Titanfall 2. They polished the movement and the multiplayer and then promptly sold the studio to EA in 2017, cutting the support for the game for the most part. It went from all in to Titanfall to backing out and leaving the community wondering why. Well, everyone found out why in 2019 when Respawn released Apex Legends. They officially sold their soul to the proverbial gaming devil himself and then hopped into the Battle Royale hype train. And you want to know what bothers me, what really grinds my titans, what really gets my smart pistol going, is the fact that Apex Legends released to be one of the most, if not the most, polished and well-designed Battle Royale game made up into that point, and in my opinion, continues to be the best Battle Royale game on the market. Respawn does not make bad games. They just don't. That thing is for sure. But they are far from the company that they seemed to want to make when Jason and Vince had originally left Activision years and years ago. As a Titanfall and an Apex fan, it makes me sad. They seem to have fallen back into what they wanted to escape those years ago. I really wanted Respawn to become the new Valve and be this independent developer leading the charge in the new age of FPS games, but that seems impossible at this point. It makes me wonder who drives decisions within the studio. EA has come out and said a few times now that Respawn can make the games it wants to, but I have some suspicion in the back of my mind that EA is just kind of whispering to Respawn like, hey, Respawn, Apex is great. Makes good money. Money makes EA happy. You want us happy, don't you? Do Apex stuff. And I get it, I really do. From a business standpoint, Apex is great. It generates money hand over fist for both EA and Respawn, and there's little to no risk involved. Developers can just make new maps and weapons and legends for a fraction of the cost that it would take to make a new entry into the Titanfall franchise and keep printing dollar bills. It's this risk aversion that probably drives decisions, and let's face it, no matter what sort of drive there is to see a new Titanfall game and how successful it may possibly be, it is still risky from a business standpoint. Hell, even Titanfall 2 was a risk, and you all saw how that turned out. Most developer studios owned by EA get shuttered when they falter, so it makes sense that Respawn wants to continue with Apex Legends because it is the moneymaker, and Titanfall 3 would be a risk. It would take years to develop and just cost millions to make. I think Respawn's thoughts on Titanfall can sort of be summed up with this one question asked of Vince in a Game Informer interview from 2019.
The success of Apex kind of led us to focus our resources on supporting that game and what it is and push out, any plans for Titanfall a little farther. So yeah, it definitely changed, how we're looking at things because we need to support that game.
This is a tough question to answer, I'm sure, because there's not much you can say, but what is the future of Titanfall at this point?
Next.
I hope you all got something out of this video. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about Respawn and their development from Titanfall to Apex. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out a lot, and I appreciate all the support the channel gets. I've also got some links down in the description, so please go check those out. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.